Hey guys, welcome back to We Watched a Movie. I am Mike, and this is everything going on right now with the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Unfortunately, it's not a very happy update, but it's some sort of an update, and it involves layers, like a decent Taco Bell burrito. Look, this franchise is a license to print money right now. Look at what's going on at CinemaCon. Everything is sequels and horror movies for the most part. And that's just the way the industry works right now. You got both with A Nightmare on Elm Street. It's sitting right there, just a license to print all this money for everyone involved. And for some reason, much like what's going on with Friday the 13th, they're like, nah, let's just make a Fortnite skin. They don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. So well, maybe we're getting the Crystal Lake series, but we'll see if that ever actually comes to fruition, hopefully. But no, they're like, no, let's make it about Pamela. Like, you know what I mean? Just bad decisions all the way around. It's a guy with a hockey mask in the woods killing people. Just do it already. And I know some people are going to say, no, you have to have Robert Englund in it. You don't. You don't. You have to have Wes Craven. You don't. They just made 2 Scream movies without Wes Craven. And you know what? Despite how some people feel about him, generally high critic scores, generally high audience scores, generally high box office. They're doing a 7th one. By the way, that news, hopefully we'll get some about it at CinemaCon today. We will have a recap video, if so, coming out. Make sure you got the bell clicked and subscribed and all that so you see it. So here's what happened, all right? They did a rare interview with New Line Cinema's head guy, Richard Brenner. And in that interview, The Hollywood Reporter did, someone had the courage to ask, hey, what the hell's going on, pal? What's going on with The Nightmare on Elm Street? Well, they asked, hey, is there any hopes for a new Nightmare on Elm Street film on the horizon? And his response was, we hope so. It's complicated because of the rights. And this isn't nothing we didn't already know. However, the new part of this is that New Line is still hoping to get the movie made. They actually said that out loud. It's the first thing from their mouths that we've gotten. And at least we know that it is something that they have worked on, maybe are working on, and maybe are going to continue to work on in the future. So it's not completely dead. When you hear rights issue, you go immediately to Friday the 13th and everything that's gone on with that, right? Obviously, just 2 people who would rather stand in a courtroom kicking each other in the dick than just make a fun movie about a guy in a hockey mask in the woods killing campers. It's so simple. It's a very simple formula. The last thing that we heard about Nightmare on Elm Street from Bloody Disgusting was that the U.S. rights went back to the Craven estate. So whoever owns the Craven estate owns the U.S. rights to A Nightmare on Elm Street. And they were allegedly accepting pitches for sequels. Elijah Wood came out and said that he had a great idea for it. Mike Flanagan came out and said that he had a great idea for it. That's a name you definitely listen to if there's some way of something going on, right? On the other hand, New Line only owns the overseas rights to it. However, they need each other to make it work. The only thing I can think, New Line saying that they're asking for too much money over on the Craven estate side, or power, right? Maybe decision making, final blessing, cut, whatever. Which that you understand. That is such an honorable thing. If it's over power, over final cut, or say so, or whatever. Because it's the Craven estate, right? Like they're like, no, this property means something to us. Wes Craven hated a lot of those sequels that they did, but he did have a script written for Nightmare on Elm Street 3. He did come back and do New Nightmare, so it's not like he's against any sequel from happening. Maybe he just doesn't want it done for the wrong reasons. Maybe these people don't want to Blumhouse it up, and throw out a Mathregan 2.0 on an Elm Street movie. So that you understand. If it's money, it's a little different. But this update goes a little further into other aspects of things as well. Number one, maybe New Line is closer to working on something than we know. There is rumors out there that they are going to put out a 4K Nightmare on Elm Street box set this October. But maybe New Line has kept this on the back burner for a while and not really worked hard on it because of how much success they're having with the Conjuring franchise. They're like, let's let these horror franchises of ours shine, and then when that kind of runs out of gas, then we'll break out the old stuff. We'll break out this stuff and get everybody really excited. I don't know if that's the case or not. If it is, it's a mistake. This is where it gets a little bit interesting as well. On the flip side of that, they also asked him about the Conjuring. Now, this next Conjuring movie, The Last Rites, is supposedly the final movie. The Last Rites. It's really probably just the final movie between Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson's characters. But we joked about that. We're like, yeah, right. It's like Friday the 13th, the final chapter, or Jason Goes to Hell, or Freddy's Dead. Like, we know it's kind of funny because they used to do that stuff back in the day. It's kind of funny to have them doing that with the Conjuring franchise here right now. But the second the Conjuring franchise stops making good money, it's probably the the quickest you'll hear about New Line starting to do something. So that's with A Nightmare on Elm Street. So this is where this gets a little bit more interesting. They also asked him about The Conjuring and what's going on with that. By the way, this website's whamnews.com. We just throw up some fun stories. Sometimes we review food and crap on there. Just anything Wham's on there. So check it out, whamnews.com. But yeah, in this story, they had asked him about The Conjuring, the new movie and everything. And he called it Phase 1. Like a fucking course. This is the last of what we call Phase 1. We are hopeful that we can make more Conjuring content. And then they said, so, whoa, that's like an MCU phrase. Like, this is just Phase 1. What does MCU entail? Or what does Phase 2 entail? And he said, Phase 2 is to be determined. Now, if you look back a while back, they were talking about doing a TV show. That TV show was announced that was going to be on HBO Max, and it could be a prequel. It could be about the start of Ed and Lorraine Warren, who, by the way, if you look up their story, they're actually really shit human beings. But that's neither here nor there. It's fiction. We all know that. Fiction can be fun. Possibly a prequel about their lives going to TV on HBO Max. There's the litany of spin-offs that they can do, that they can make on the cheap, and basically Blumhouse model the Conjuring spin-offs up, and then you get just watered down horror content like The Nun 2 and shit like that. So not the greatest, but it makes them a ton of money, and the fuck you gonna do, man? It's Walmart horror, PG-13, up the ass. On the other corner of this, we have Blumhouse. Now, there was rumors a long time ago that came out that said Blumhouse is trying to buy the rights to Nightmare on Elm Street. They want to recool it up. They want to bring back Heather Langenkamp, however you want to say it. And nothing ever came of that. Like, most shit doesn't come out of scoops that you hear. My dog just maybe threw up on my couch. That's fucking awesome. What we do know is that Blumhouse just announced their own Nightmare on Elm Street. Call me crazy, but I think Blumhouse did this decision in part because they know that they can just make their own fucking Freddy Krueger, and I think that's what Blumhouse just did. The Black Phone came out a couple years ago. Jay and I both thought it was super overrated for the hype. It was an okay horror movie in my opinion. I thought it was blown out of proportion, but that doesn't matter. Spoiler alert for the original movie, if you don't know. 3, 2, 1, he dies. Ethan Hawke's character was awesome. Best part of the movie. Every part of him was in the trailer, part of the problem. But yeah, he dies at the end of the movie, and he is obviously in hell because he's a big disgusting piece of shit. This new trailer that Blumhouse just released at CinemaCon, everybody's wondering, you're bringing back Scott Derrickson to direct this thing. You're bringing back the writers. You're bringing back the cast and everybody. You're bringing back Ethan Hawke. He's dead. How are we going to do this? And probably what's a stroke of fucking genius from Blumhouse. Now, they haven't had a lot of those recently. I saw The Woman in the Yard, and it was found wanting. But they made their own Freddy Krueger, man. He's supernatural. The explanation of the trailer and everything they said about it is basically he's haunting these kids in their dreams from hell, and then he's also haunting kids apparently maybe in hell. There's all these shots in this trailer, which has not been released to us little people yet, of him in a wintry setting chasing kids on ice skates, chasing kids in the snow, and then also him telling the kid, like, we both know death is just a word. It means nothing. So basically, they've taken Ethan Hawke's Grabber character, they've made him supernatural, he's a kid killer and other things, among other things, and now he's haunting them in their dreams. They just made their own fucking Freddy Krueger, guys. That's a big goddamn deal. And New Line should probably look at that and go, oh shit, we may have waited too long with this property. That's my thoughts. I think they're directly tied hand in hand in together. What do you guys think about it all? Where the fuck is Freddy Krueger? I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. And I want it. I want it, Neil. So yeah. What are your all's thoughts down below? Make sure you click subscribe, and we'll be covering the rest of CinemaCon as well. Lots of cool stuff has come out of there. Lots of cool stuff to talk about. All your movie news, reviews, whatever. We do it all here. But you gotta click subscribe, because if you don't, YouTube hides us. Because we say things like shit, cock, balls all the time. We don't care. We make our own bedtimes. We make our own fucking bedtimes.
What are you gonna do on October 31st?
What are you gonna do on October 31st?
Here comes that white-faced fucker, an asshole like no other. He's a big old piece of shit. Wants to stab your sister's tits cause he's a white-faced fucker. Loomis can't recover. Dr. Challenge drunk again, sleeping with your sister's friends.
Do you want to know about the darkness?
I said, goddamn.
Goddamn you faggot!
I said, goddamn.
A lot of people don't know the darkness that goes inside their hearts.
I said, goddamn.